following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning into Viewpoint on 96.3 FM, WLCN, and WLCN Online. Wow, we didn't have power yesterday, or we were off, or we were flooded, or we were all the above, I think. So we didn't have country show. But anyway, but thank you for tuning in today. Lord and weather willing, we're back here today with John Fulton from Logan County Fair. Welcome. Thanks for making it in.
Good morning.
Good morning. How much rain did you guys get at your house over the course of the few days?
Oh, we're somewhere around 3.5 altogether.
Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty much the norm around.
Yeah.
You going to go home and mow the yard now or not?
Did yesterday.
Oh, you did it yesterday?
A little muddy, but got through it.
Kind of plowed through it then.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, thank you for coming. We greatly appreciate it.
Certainly.
So anyway, Logan County Fair is right around the corner. I cannot believe it. I mean, the summer's almost gone.
It snuck up on us, didn't it?
It did. It seemed like last year we were here back at Viewpoint talking, and now, just in a couple of weeks, we're right back at the same thing again. So.
Yep, we're hard at it out at the fairgrounds, getting things set up and probably reset up with some of the storms that have come through. So timing's the magic part of it. You know, you don't want it out so early you get it tore up. So.
Right. So have you guys done any updates, anything, physical wise that people may see different there at the fairgrounds before we kind of dive into what's going to be going on?
As usual, a lot of it's things that you won't visibly see unless you're in one of the barns using the new outlets or something in the swine barn or that kind of thing. But the inside of the clothing and textiles was painted this year with some volunteer labor, and their sewing and textiles group spearheading that effort, and so that'll be a little bit fresher look. And like I said, we did some pretty decent wiring with drops in the open swine barn and some of that kind of stuff, and some around the infield, a couple new flag poles up, and a little bittersweet when we talked about all that with Joe Shaler, and we won't have Joe with us this year, so but a few things here and there.
And then also, too, we were kind of making a joke before we went on the air that the first aid building there next to the fair office has been put to rest, I guess you could say.
It's gone. Yeah, it had fallen into disrepair, and best to create another parking place.
Because last year on that end of the fair, we were working on the new bathrooms down there. And
we've been working to put the finishing touches. It wasn't quite all done, but we had the shower and the handicap bathroom and some of that stuff to finish up, and some of the partitions needed to be shored up, I guess, a good way to do it, and a little bit of drainage work was done in that area too, to simplify the flow, I guess, and so forth. We had some backup problems with some roots last year, so.
Well, I mean, driving past the fairgrounds, I mean, we need to take pride in it because it's very well, nicely kept up, and it does always look great. So kudos to the fair board and the workers you have. So
we laugh and say there's always a water leak or a sewer plug, so it gets tougher, but that's where a lot of the resources go.
Mm-hmm. So fair entries are still open, correct? If somebody is wanting to enter a pie, photography, sewing, livestock.
The open entries are open till July 24th, and you can also do those online. You have to jump through a few hoops and register for an account and some of that if you want to do them that way. Otherwise, basically, the fair office is going to be open to that day and beyond, but for entry purposes, they'll be glad to take them. They're good to work with, so they'll make sure you get it right.
Right. So, and I forgot, what is the hours there for the fair office if people want to stop in?
We're running about figure 9 to 4:30. Might be earlier, might be a half hour later, but they're also doing a lot of running, getting passes to the banks and so forth, and some of that. So a little bit slighter crew than normal, so because of that, figure kind of those core hours.
And if people haven't picked up their normal box seats, are they still able to contact or not, or did those?
Sure.
Or
they can contact them for box seats, and that's the only way to get pre-sold tickets for the different events. But and you can also do the concert tickets online as well. So
now I think you guys can change things up this year, from what I remember. If you have box seats, that does not include, for the whole fair, that does not include your concert ticket. That's another.
Correct. They dropped that out because a lot of the folks had some issues with the seating and so forth, so or wanted to be down in front or whatever. So that's kind of you can do
trying
that.
to keep the venues almost kind of separate then.
A la carte,
yeah. There you go. That's a good thing. Well, I know when I talked to Kevin Kurtz, he wanted to make a special shout out and let everybody know you guys have not raised prices this year.
No, we haven't for quite a few years, actually, and
I mean, even though venues are charging the fair more money to come there and but you guys have really kept it family-friendly prices, et cetera.
if you're an early bird before noon, it's still free to walk into the fair and park. And basically afternoon, our single day adults $3, and season pass is $18, and season parking $7. And so it's been that way for quite a few years.
That's good. And you run a lot of volunteers, don't you, there at the fair, from working the gates and all around, and admissions?
A lot of organizations do those things. We give them like a stipend for a fundraiser for labor, all the way from the football team doing this, that, or the other, to women's club, or whoever it is, if they're willing to take tickets, do this, do that. Some of them are individual, but a lot of folks, they don't get rich off of it, let's put it that way.
Are you still looking for organizations, to
if you
help
want,
out in any way?
Want to help with something, contact the fair office, and they kind of keep a rolling list of things that they need, particularly in the setup and tear down type areas.
Because it truly does take a village to put the fair on.
Well, you stop and think, all those chairs you set up for the Queen contest have to come back down and be loaded back on a rack. So, yeah, putting them up and taking them down.
Mm-hmm. And I think we talked about the weather too, Jim, right? We were supposed to have hopefully good weather then, because I know in years past we've had to move the Queen pageant. So.
Oh yeah, that makes it more interesting. But, yeah, we'll work through whatever we have to work through. We've had it down in the livestock arena the last couple years in a row, and it's not ideal, but we work with it. It's better there than inside the Lincoln stage area, because of seating and so forth. You can
that was, I believe, 2 years ago, and then we also had to do a makeshift scrambles on Wednesday then, because we got another big rain. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
We tend to tolerate the heat better than the rain.
Right. Right. Yep. So what things do you want to highlight for everybody? I know I'm looking here, Logan County My Favorite Pie Contest. People still can exhibit a pie and win prizes. First place is $100, second place is $50, third place is $30, fourth place is $20. Lloyd, you got a favorite pie you're going to bring?
Not bring.
Are you going to go taste? You're going to be a judge?
You just want to judge.
Exactly.
Yeah, and actually that's kind of a fundraiser for the fair, where they'll take those pies and auction them, and kind of like the Cake Classic is a fundraiser for the 4-H group. The fair has done the pies, so it's a great thing, gets a lot of community interest, and raises some money for the fair to put in the foundation to help maintain buildings and so forth.
That's wonderful. So, kicking things off, when would we officially start the fair then?
Well, there's 2 official starts, I guess. We're going to have harness racing starting on Sunday in the afternoon at 1:30. And Chapter 11 Big Band will kick that off at 12:30, so that's kind of one start, and the other's the ribbon cut on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, and there's some other activities on Monday as well, pretty much the 4-H general projects and some additional harness racing and that kind of thing, and then Tuesday will start it in full swing with some small animal things on the 4-H end, and some of the weigh-ins and so forth, and processing livestock, and then we'll really get into it Wednesday through Saturday, with a lot of things. And Sunday's kind of the wrap-up day with a lot of the special events like the My Favorite Pie and the chili cook-offs on Saturday, but the 4-H auctions on Sunday. So, the weekend's a little bit different than during the week. And, of course, the open beef show on Saturday will be the last major livestock show.
Well, we've had some people contact me last week. They wanted to when the rides open up, and I see here it's going to be on Tuesday, so the night of the Queen pageant. That's kind of the official start off.
They'll start off the afternoon then.
Right, and that starts off at 5:30 to 10:30 is rides, and Queen pageant is at 6:30, and hopefully we won't get a rain and we can still have it there in front of the grandstand. So
right, that always makes it easier. We'll be working with a new stage this year, so that'll be interesting. The other one got in a little fender bender going back after an event, and so it's out of commission.
So, but I see here rides basically start opening up 5:30 every night for folks of you listening, except on Friday night, and that is senior day. They actually open up at 5 o'clock instead of 5:30, and same for Saturday. And then you got, of course, the demo derby on Sunday to wrap up the fair. But let's see, we got Family Fun Day, I believe, is on Thursday as well. Kids'
Right.
admissions are free then, too.
Yep.
So, anyway, and then Veterans Day is also on Thursday there.
Yep, we've changed that around a little bit and let the veterans come in, and we're doing it on Thursday again. We did it last year for the first time. Before it had been on the Sunday before the harness racing. They'd take their picture in the grandstand. So now we let the veterans come in, and we're also allowing a helper, spouse type person to come in with them, and they're welcome to stay for the tractor pulls and free admission and so forth, because we certainly appreciate the veterans and all they've done for our country and our community. And so that seemed to work out well last year, and we're expanding a little more on it.
Now, quick question. For the Doug DeMay Memorial Chili Cook-Off on Saturday, who do they contact? Do they contact the fair office there, or who's running that?
And actually it's the Double D now for Doug Ritterbush as well.
Okay, so we've renamed it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering, since I know Doug Ritterbush always ran it, and he contacted
after Doug DeMay, it was Doug Ritterbush.
So now it's called the what? The Double D?
Double D Chili Cook-Off.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That is neat.
So
that is neat.
Yep. That'll draw some interest, and it's always a good time and a good promotion for some of the commercial folks are in it, and a lot of the families have a lot of fun with it.
The first time I've had white chili was at that cook-off.
Okay.
So that was. Well, we're going to take a commercial break here, and when we get back, we'll finish wrapping it up and talking about the Logan County Fair and everything that's going on.
Brian Clark State Farm offers a range of insurance products to fit your unique needs and give you a peace of mind. Our dedicated team helps you find the perfect policy to safeguard your biggest investments. Brian Clark State Farm can steer you in the right direction on auto insurance, and we've got your home covered from natural disasters to unexpected accidents. Contact me, State Farm Agent Brian Clark, at 217-732-6211 or visit sfinsurelincoln.com. Go Railers!
Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
Hi, welcome back to 96.3 FM WLCN Viewpoint. Today we've got John Fulton from the Logan County Fair Board talking to us about fair right around the corner. If you got any questions or comments or anything, feel free to call in 217-648-5510. I was looking at the fair book, and Cole, my son, brought it up. He's all excited because my granddaughter, it's something new this year. They're going to have a Pee-wee showmanship for the swine department on Friday after the open show for the little kids.
Actually, they had it last year.
Oh, they did have it last year then? So I couldn't remember if it was last year or this year, but I know Hensley gets to be in it this year. So
Okay.
who do they get to contact for that to be in that?
They can contact the fair office, or it's Sarah Borma.
Okay. Sarah's running that then, so that is neat. I know John and Annie Kors do an amazing job with the sheep department. Those kids, if you look at the pictures on Facebook after the shows, it's neat down there on what they do. They have
After
a
the
lot
show,
of fun.
they just collapse and melt. The whole Kors family's involved down there at the sheep show, and they make it a lot of fun.
They do. They really
The
do.
exhibitors and spectators and everybody else.
They always seem like they have something new or different added down there, and it is. It looks like, folks, if you, like John said, it's, free till noon. Come in and, watch and see what our local county kids, have worked hard to do all year long,
Very much so.
and attend. And it's not just on the livestock side, on the north side. I mean, kids, from the crop, projects to, like I said, the sewing, the baking, archery, rocketry, those 4-H projects, those are neat. And the woodworking every year seems to get better and better to me.
Yeah, you have to do some of it to appreciate it, and the project numbers have gone down, but it's a huge time commitment to do those things, and whether it's in the, I'll call it the home economics area, whether it's baking or sewing or those kinds of things, or the trade type things, with the electricity, the small engines, all that. It takes a lot of time and effort, and the kids who do those projects learn a lot, and a lot of them use those skills for a long time, as they go through life.
They do. And, like I said, folks, go out and look and see what our kids have done, I mean, it's really, we have a lot of talented youth here in Logan County. We really do.
And Karen Burgrave's art project is always something to behold, just the sheer numbers and the effort she puts into that, to get art projects from basically every kid in those selected grades for the county out at the fair, that's...
And then a lot of our kids go on to the state fair the following week and get to, exhibit those projects too.
Sure.
So, kudos to them.
Yeah.
But
That's very much so the case, and it gives them a time to also be involved at the state fair as well as exhibit, and that was always our day at the state fair, as a family, is that exhibit day and so forth. So it's a great time.
Yes. And so we've got on Thursday night tractor pulls at 6 o'clock. So that always seems to be a good crowd drawing there for.
That's one of the stalwarts. The basic schedule hadn't changed a lot. We added the rodeo in several years ago, and that's become a standard, I guess, just like the tractor pulls, and that 4-H night on Wednesday, that's jockeyed around a little bit on what night it's been, but the Queen's the first night, the 4-H night Wednesday, the tractor pull Thursday, and Friday night we'll have the rodeo, Saturday night will be the concert, and we'll wrap it up with a demo derby, knock on wood,
Yeah, because last year it rained for that.
Yeah, last year it was too wet, and when you get stuck trying to drive a golf cart across the top of the track, it wasn't going to work for a demo derby, so we made it work, but not the way we would like for anybody concerned, but appreciate everybody's patience and working with us.
Right. So anything else you guys might want to change or see? What else do you think people need to see there at the fair or do? Or
Well, I just encourage everyone to, go through the buildings, look at some of the projects and everything that everybody has worked on. There's so much talent in those represented in those buildings all the way from the floriculture show. It's a top-notch floriculture show. A couple days of that, dairy culinary with baked goods and all that, and canned goods also, the grain show, and you can really see the quality. And if you go to the state fair, these same exhibitors are down there and winning as well. So it's a tune-up, I guess, before they head down there. But take some time, go through those buildings. There's a lot to see, and get you out of the sun for a little bit as well.
So are they still going to have the small engines? I believe they do, the display there as you're walking around. If you're going up towards the grandstand from, say, the swine barn, there's always a display of tractors, on the west side right there. So the antique, so yes.
Two-putt engines and so forth.
When do they start moving in then?
Well, they'll be in before the fair starts. So,
okay.
Along with the antique tractors, and I laugh and say, I don't know if it's antique if I've used it. But, it's kind of like going to the restaurant and seeing all the old farm implements stuff hanging on the walls, and I know exactly what that is. But, out the fair where they'll have some really nice antique tractors, and also the two-putt engines and some of that, and sometimes they'll hook up a belt to something and drive something, either a grinder, and you might even see an ice cream freezer out there now and then.
So are you still needing vendors, or if vendors want to, display there, how do they get in contact? Are you still accepting applications for vending?
They can contact the fair office, and there's always room in the merchants building pretty much, and they can also work with a tent or whatever you want. But the more vendors, the better it is, and people are drawn to more businesses, so it helps everybody out if you have more of everything in there.
Mm-hmm. How are you on numbers for food vendors then, for people wanting to eat the fair food, that sort of thing, and
the
fair
standards
food
will be back, and we're working with fairly full house between the carnival groups and the independent vendors, particularly up in the Midway area.
Mm-hmm. Is Rich Art's going to have their petting zoo back this year?
I believe so, but I haven't checked
heard
on
yet.
that personally.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot, so anyway.
That's okay. I honestly don't know.
So, because usually he's set up right there just north of the buildings there, so, Well, Lloyd, you got any questions?
No, just a shameless self-plug that WLCN will be out at the fair.
Yes.
Doing some broadcasts on some of the weekdays, as well as live streaming the Fair Queen pageant and the Demolition Derby. So obviously we encourage folks to come out and attend in person, but for those who can't or want to tune in during the midday reports and hear what's going on, have an opportunity to do that as well.
Sure, we always appreciate having you out there to help promote things and pass along last minute things as well if there's
any
changes in schedule due to weather, whatever, and so if you need somebody, come grab us out of the fair office. The board has taken a much greater role out at the fair the last couple of years, and so basically board members are around the office virtually the entire fair now, and not just dependent upon a secretary or a president or whoever. So come grab us.
We will probably hold you to that.
Yeah. Okay.
No, well, John, we greatly appreciate it. We appreciate the fair board and the volunteers that goes into it. It's it does take a village, we always say, and it really does show. So
the number of volunteer hours are staggering that go into a fair. Not just the fair week, but everything from fair book changes to setups to painting, and you were highly involved last year with setting up some new tie-outs.
We did. The Entwistles took on that project.
Took an hour or two. Yeah.
Times, I don't know how many.
Yeah, I know.
That wasn't a summer occurrence, so,
and
but
that's the great thing too. Nobody really keeps track.
No,
we just do it. So.
Well, like we said, the boards, and nothing against it, the boards need to be taken down. We're talking about the tie-outs out there by the cattle barns, and Jerry, my loving husband, in his infinite wisdom, says we need new tie-outs, and I said, okay and with that. So, but went down to Hawkeye Steel, I know, and Southern Illinois, got the Gates, and he and Reese, and then Nibs did bring in the Pounder, and so they got a lot of stuff done and accomplished. So yeah, it does take a village. It really does, folks. And
the number of hours a few of them have spent just replacing hydrants out there this year has been
really
unbelievable. A hydrant runs or leaks, and it's a lot of water down the drain, and
yes.
That's a waste. And so Nibs has been the hydrant man for.
Well, and you just had, I believe, the Illinois Holstein Dairy Show there this past week.
The State Dairy Show.
Was there. So
yep.
Yeah,
that's a major undertaking, and Steve Irwin kind of ramrods that from the Holstein side, and then some of the board members really take it on because they like to bed them deep too. So there's a lot to get
straw.
rid of.
Yes, there's a lot of straw out there to get rid of. But yeah, so moving past the fair, if somebody wants to utilize the fairgrounds, whether it be venues for a wedding reception, birthday party, whatever, to a show, an event of some sort. I mean, because I saw some motorcycles there a few weeks ago there too as well. Talk about that. So this fair is obviously available almost year round to people.
Well,
correct?
And that's always been one of the pride points for Logan County Fair is the grounds are used year round, and it makes it easier to justify keeping them up, and not mowing the weeds down the week before the fair. And the races are out there. We don't have the camper groups like we used to, but there's a few smaller ones come through, and that's another thing. We're upgraded all the camper water lines this year and so forth, and did a lot with the electric boxes last year. And
as a camper, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's the infrastructure things that make things go better. You just don't pay much attention to unless it's that aha moment where you have a place to plug in. But just call the fair office, and the number is forwarded even in the off season, so you can get
you can still get somebody.
Yep, get passed along to the right person, and that we can talk to you. That the farmers market's done a wonderful job with setting up that area of the buildings and so forth, and so there's a few wedding receptions out there in that area and that kind of thing. So the fairgrounds is available, so
it's a wonderful property to utilize, and
it's convenient and has lots of parking.
It does. So, well, if Jim and Lloyd, you guys, or Mabel has anything else, I guess they don't. Mabel's being quiet. She must be asleep. We thank you, John. Thank you so much, folks. Again, Diamond Rio is going to be there at the fair on Saturday night. Listen to WLCN. We'll be giving tickets away. We're going to be broadcasting out there. And we've got some more things upcoming we will be announcing as we draw closer. But the Lord and weather willing, we'll have a great fair, and tune in next week to Viewpoint. Thank you.
Thank you.
This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.